Hey, Polyfly here, back with another deck tech for On the Sensors. Today we're looking at a deck that I really enjoy playing, something that I put together. I call it Pew Pew Go Fast, and it involves an elite deck, an elite Han Solo, and with 2 points left over, I play a card called Profiteering. But wait, Polyfly, Profiteering? I haven't seen that card in forever. I know, right? Profiteering is one of those cards that I feel doesn't get a lot of play, doesn't get enough play, and it's a lot better than what it seems. Profiteering is a 2-cost yellow neutral plot that says after one of your scoundrel dice rolls a side showing a resource, you may resolve it. You may resolve it. Now, key to note is it doesn't say after a yellow scoundrel is activated, just after a yellow scoundrel die rolls a resource. So this could be at any point during a reroll. Han rolls a money, you can automatically resolve it with Profiteering. You can also play Profiteering if you have 2 extra points left over in a deck that runs an entourage package with all those extra scoundrels. They roll money. You can automatically resolve it with Profiteering. This card is sneaky good. It's pretty good. Super early game with Han. It can be good late game if you need that one extra resource maybe that Han rolled, or if you have any other scoundrels on the table, just to kind of get that pay for dice or pay for some extra upgrades or something. So it's really good. We're also playing it with Mean Streets because you're playing a yellow scoundrel. Might as well play Mean Streets to help even out and not have to worry about a ton of money. So this deck is sneaky good. Dak actually has a unique ability too. You usually see him paired with Luke Red 5 with the Destroy the Death Star to remove a shield from the Death Star plans or from Destroy the Death Star plot. But in this deck, he gives a shield to one of your characters. So 23 health setup that actually starts out with 24 health, which is really good. So a deck like this, because they're both pilots and they both have range sides, you can kind of build this deck 2 different ways. You can usually build it hero piloting with hero vehicles, or you can build it with just some really good range size, some blasters. So I've chosen to build this deck in a kind of a hybrid version of that. So since we do have some pilots, one of the best cards that you can pilot or have a pilot is a merchant freighter. Need a little bit extra money? Perfect with merchant freighter. You're running pilots, so you're running ejects. Merchant freighters are a perfect target for an eject. Eject with 2 money just to get the 2 extra health and the 2 shields. With the ambush, I will do it every day of the week, so it's pretty good. I'm also running 2 copies of Rogue 2. Rogue 2 is unique, but it is 2 cost. But it's great because the ability is after it activates, not after it's piloted by a red character, but after it's activated, you can spot a red character to reroll a die. So you can use this to kind of help reroll into some more damage. You could reroll a Han die into money and take it with Profiteering right away, and then recoup some of that money you spent. So you can do lots of things. You can even use its ability to reroll one of your opponent's die. So a little bit of soft mitigation in there. In order to make that work. So if you need to get rid of something, they have a couple modifiers and a base. You can reroll the base to hopefully to get rid of that. So, and then I'm playing it with 1 copy of Rogue 1 because, again, with Dak, it's really good. Late game, 3 costs, you put it out. After he activates, if Dak is piloting it, you get to remove 1 shield from a card, or you may remove a die showing a value of 0. So any decks that are playing a lot of special chaining or specials, you can remove the special dice. If you're playing against decks that have lightsabers with 0 with 0 base, Leia's lightsaber, for example, or Vibro sword that's sitting on a 0, you can remove those dice as well with an activation of Rogue 1. So really good. So we're running 5 vehicles. 2 of them are unique, so you're really only going to have a max of 4 vehicles out at any point. So we got to figure out a way to make more damage, right? Well, there's a lot of shields going around right now. We're seeing some blue characters. Vader, Big Luke. With Vader, it's a little less shieldy because Vader's power action allows you to remove shields, but shields are still a thing. So because of that, I run a card called DX2 Disruptor Blaster Pistol. This is a fantastic card in a shield heavy meta, and just in general, it's 50% damage side. It's so good. It's a 1 gun, a 2 gun, a +2 gun, and any damage dealt with this die or damage dealt with this modified die gets unblockable. So a 1 gun, 2 gun is all unblockable. A +2, you match it with a Han 3-for-1. That's 5 damage. That's unblockable. It's insanely good. Another card that I really like to play, it's the same exact die as the DX2. It is an A300. The only difference is this has redeploy. It sticks around. You play it early, That character dies, you move it over, you don't lose the die. Redeploy weapons are always really good, and it is the exact same die as the DX2. So you roll a +2 on a DX2, and you roll a 1 on an A300, you got 3 unblockable damage. So it's always really good. And then I'm playing 2 copies of DL18. This, by far, is my favorite 2-cost blaster in the set. It is insanely good. It has 50% damage sides. Again, 50% damage sides is great. 2 cost. And it's a 2 range, a 2 range, a 3 range. All of those cost $1. But if you can use those as modifiers instead of base without having to pay its resource cost. So think about this. You're sitting on a 2 guns for $1 on a DL18, and you're sitting on a 2 gun on a DX2 blaster, or a 1 gun. You could use the DL18 as a modifier, attach it to the DX2, and now you have 3 unblockable or 4 unblockable, and you didn't have to pay the 1 resource. Or vice versa of that. You're sitting on a +2 on the DX2, and 2 guns for $1 on the DL18. You pay the $1, and now you're shooting 4 unblockable. It's insanely good. The DL18 is such a versatile weapon where you can flip-flop that back and forth. It's great. We're playing Han Solo, so we might as well play Han Solo's blaster. 3 cost, single copy. It has ambush. We like ambush in this deck. Pew pew go fast. But I usually play it as kind of some mitigation, right? You play it and you make them discard a card discard a die that, remove a die that has showing damage, right? Has ambush. If you haven't activated Han yet, then you get to go ahead and activate him as well. But realistically, you're playing it, maybe at the end of a round to remove a die, ambush, claim the battlefield, something like that. So it's really good. The one thing you'll notice, besides Rogue 2 and Han himself, all of the dice that get brought to the table have at least 50% damage sides. This deck is crazy good and consistent at dealing out some damage. And with the DL18 being able to either be a modifier or a base side, you're never short of tacking on those modifiers to something. So really good. We talk about this deck being pew pew go fast. So how do we do that? Well, we have a lot of ambush, right? We have ambush on this card. We are also running yellow. So yellow hero, we're going to run instigate. Classic. Roll in a character with 4 dice, resolve 8 damage. It's insane. Really, really good finisher card to spike somebody off the table. We're also running red hero. More than likely, you're going to be running. You're going to be claiming the battlefield. I claim the battlefield a lot super early, leaving 1, maybe 2 dice on the table sometimes, especially if I'm holding a card like Seize the Day in my hand. This deck literally just wants to roll its dice out, resolve all of its dice, and then sit back and wait for your opponent to do something. And Seize the Day and Instigate really, really helps with that. So a couple of utility cards that I play in this deck. We talked about it earlier. You're running Merchant Freighter. You're running a bunch of pilots, so you might as well run Eject. Ambush, discard a vehicle to heal 2 and get 2 shields. I mean, that's a 4 health life swing. Discarding a card from the table that's really not doing anything late in the game. It's awesome. Because we're also playing pilots and vehicles. We're also going to run a sail. It's great mitigation. You can remove anything as long as you're piloting a vehicle. And with both of these cards, Eject and a sail, having ambush, you could technically sail into an eject and get the most bang for your buck out of that. Some of that also partnered with those ambush cards partnered with Mean Streets. So you can always remove a die, heal your character, claim. Like it's so good. It's ridiculous. A couple other things that we want to do with our piloting characters, obviously for sustainability, we're going to play Flanked by Wingman. I mean, all I want to do is roll out and resolve. So I might as well play Flanked by Wingman to give me 2 extra health. The other thing this deck sometimes struggles with is trying to get over the top, especially if you got some cards discarded earlier, you didn't get them. You got them too early and you had to discard to reroll. So sometimes it needs a little push to get over the top. So I play 2 copies of Focused Fire. Being able to pay 1 to resolve 2 damage dice as 2 3 damage dice is really, really good. 2 damage out of hand for 1 resource can make or break a win, usually. So really, really good. Plus, you can use this with claiming Mean Streets to play it for free on occasion. And so basically 6 damage resolve for free. Your opponent doesn't see it coming half the time because you still have damage dice in the pool. Like, it's so good. So speaking of Mean Streets and what we're going to do for mitigation, One of my favorite things to do with Mean Streets, I know it seems kind of mean, but one of my favorite things to do with Mean Streets is, especially early, claim Mean Streets and then play Flee the Scene. Oh, you like those 2 dice you just rolled out? Well, we're going to remove them, and then there's no downside for me. We're just going to go to the next round. I'm going to claim Mean Streets, put 1 on it, play Flee the Scene, and let's move on with life. So, kind of in the same vein, and I have on occasion done this where Dak has never even rolled in. We rolled in Han with 2 upgrades on him, resolved all those dice, and then once they roll in a character, I just claim the battlefield and play Headstrong. You like your character dice? Well, we're going to remove those dice. So, round 3, even round 2, pew pew go fast. Roll our dice out, staring down Vader, who rolled out a fistful of dice with 3 sticks, and some other craziness. Well, I'm piloting a merchant or a rogue 2, so we're going to go ahead and jump to light speed. Claim, jump to light speed, and let's go again. Hopefully I can draw my instigates or my seize the days if I haven't already, and then spike Vader off the table. So this deck likes to go fast. It plays fast and loose, using Profiteering, which in my opinion is probably one of the key cards in this deck. It really makes this deck go, especially early. You roll Han's dice into some money early, resolve it with Profiteering. That way you can set up for your upgrades and maybe some extra mitigation if you played 2 resources for an upgrade. It really helps. So I don't mind basically exhausting Han to take 2 extra resources and start the round with 4 if I need to. Like, it's just it can just be backbreaking sometimes. This deck plays really well into pirates, at least from my from my experience, because you can play something to basically use all your resources right off the bat, and then the pirates can't do a lot of their stealing money shenanigans, and then you can profiteer to kind of take some stuff back, especially with a lot of the ambush cards that we have. I mean, we're talking basically 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 extra cards with ambush. I mean, it's so good. Plus Mean Streets. So I like this deck a lot. I appreciate everybody checking in for this one today. I know we're going to be doing more of these, so stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next one. Are you looking for some cards to finish out your collection, or maybe a hard sought-after Neiman to finish out your playset? At TopDeckTCG.com, you can find everything you need from the secondary market, from hard-to-find cards to alternate arts. They even have strategy and content from all of the top content creators in the Star Wars Destiny community. Check them out today. And if you use promo code ONTHESENSORS, you'll get 10% off your entire order. Check out TopDeckTCG.com today.